This is going to be my cluster trap showcase for Shaper. Build's looking pretty good so far. Investment wise, not quite sure, probably around like 20-ish X maybe. Damage is, I would call, very fine. Of course, I don't usually make builds that are like ridiculous damage, usually. I have no damage flasks, I have all life flasks and other things. As you can see, damage is fine. I think if I were to calculate, I'm sitting roughly in the 15-ish million damage range, maybe. It's kind of hard to tell with explosive trap because I'm not quite sure how many are over, you know. So basically, the theory behind it is Secrets of Suffering, explosive trap, not very unique. However, as you can see, the damage is like really good. However, I am doing it as Ascendant because I like the idea of going fast. So I went Ascendant with Raider and Sab, and the reason I did that is because Chain... yeah. Chain node in Sab doesn't really feel the best to me because it kind of fucks your charge generation up with slave drivers because your enemies aren't detonating the traps are detonating nearby traps, so that ends up being kind of weird. And you don't go and if you don't get it, then you don't get the AoE either, which to me feels really bad. To me, it feels really bad to not get the any AoE at all. So I went Sab, Path of the Shadow, and Raider for the suppress movement speed, Onslaught. Because with Slave Drivers, Onslaught is 20% trap throwing speed. So it feels really good. Shield charging around and having really good trap throwing speed. I think my trap throwing speed is like 0.28 or something right now. You can probably get it a bit lower. It's somewhere in that ballpark, I'm not sure. I was supposed to put Maven on this, but that's fine. I'll just farm another one. You keep frenzy charges up more during mapping than what you're seeing here, because in mapping you actually jump swap to cluster traps, so frenzies are up all the time because you're throwing constantly 3 traps, sometimes more through the mastery. As you can see, the shield charge is like pretty fast. Damage is really good. Dots hurt, we'll say that, but your recovery is pretty fine though. Oh, that's annoying. Pretty easy. Do really good damage. I don't know why it's getting those. It's whatever. So yeah, so the damage is really good. So basically we're Sab, Raider, Path of the Shadow, Path out, grab all the nodes. This part looks like a standard explosive trap, Secrets of Suffering tree. Except we can use Furious Assault because I'm not using life tap. using slave drivers. So any cast speed actually becomes trap throwing speed, and it's honestly really good for the price I think the budget I put into it. I've had a lot of characters not do nearly that much off of that. But we have capped spell suppression. With Flask up, we have 46k armor pretty much and 40k evasion. Capped spell suppression, roughly 900 to 1000 life regen. I think it's like really solid. 5k life, 800 energy shield. We have Ghost Dance, so the build feels really good in mapping. And I would definitely recommend getting this Trap Mastery. 5 additional traps placed at a time is crazy preload damage added. Like, this can be the difference between you one-shotting a Conqueror or not. But with this node currently, if the Conqueror does not have any tank mods, I can instantly kill any Conqueror on the preload. Except maybe Drox, because he's going to phase, but you can instantly push Drox to half with it, where he phases. And then Path Up, get Reservation Mastery. And overall, it's really good. Oh, I will say, the sound part is like my kind of more unique take on it. But also, this Impossible Escape is actually pretty good value. I think I bought it at the time for 15 chaos, and you get Magmatic Strikes, Vanquisher, and Hardy. This node gives 250 life regen. These nodes give roughly 5 to 6% DPS each. I said, screw it, I want to use the jewel. You can perfectly get away without even using it. I like it. I would recommend using it because it's fun. More life regen makes the build recovery feel like a lot better. And yeah, overall it's just a really solid tree. You get crit chance mastery here, 5% chance to throw additional traps mastery here, reservation, flat life. I have anointed expeditious munitions. You can completely remove this from the build if you don't want the 5% chance to throw 4 additional traps, which I think you should take, but you can remove that if you want, get the trap trigger AoE, anoint something else. Increased effective auras. And yeah, overall it was very solid. Oh, and each jewel is 7% life, trap throwing speed, area damage, 7% life, trap throwing speed, area damage, 7% life, trap throwing speed, area damage. You can get crit multi ones. They're way too expensive for, in my opinion. This one's just helping me get my intelligence up to a value I need. Yeah. As for gear, let's take a look. Slave drivers, of course, we're running Molten Shell, Life Tap, Increased Duration, Bear Trap. I love the setup. It feels really good. And then the weapon, we have Wave of Conviction, Increased Duration, Arcane Surge. On the boots, we have Shield Charge, Life Tap, Faster Attacks, with a Defiance banner unlinked, because if you link it to Life Tap, it will cost twice as much mana, 3 times as much mana. And the helmet, we have, which don't worry about my gear. My gear is like not even that great right now. This is like a mediocre helmet. I just need it for the mana reservation, and the percent life regen I hit was nice. I was like, screw it, I'm fine with 94 life, 29 fire res, that's fine. You want increased effect of non-damaging ailments on this for sure, with Flame Dash, Assassin's Mark linked to Life Tap, and then Herald of Ash unlinked again. And the shield is probably the most expensive part. You want reservation, crit, you can go crit +1, whatever, any mod is fine. 90 life, 30% avoid is just something I rolled with it, and then 8% of fire is extra chaos. It was just, you can craft that, it's pretty good, it's like 4 or 5% DPS. Boots are just life, res, chaos res, cannot be chilled, suppress. You really want the cannot be chilled. It's very important for this build to feel good. Unless you cap elemental ailment avoidance. But you kind of need to craft the life as extra maximum energy shield, otherwise you're not going to have enough ES for Ghost Dance to actually do anything. So, as for main links, you want to go Explosive Trap, Swift Assembly for bossing, Clusters for clearing, Trap and Mine damage, Elemental Penetration, Increased critical damage, and Awakened Added Fire. This is, you may think this is like expensive. 2120 Explosive Trap was, at the time of me buying it, 15, like 7 to 15C. Awakened Added Fire, I bought a level 5 for 130C. The rest are just things. Ellie Pen was 70C when I bought it, so that's fine. Rings, you want to craft your res ring with the crit multi and pray you hit life another good res. In this case, I hit a really good ring. I hit it with crit multi, life, res, and craft minimum endurance charge, just so the build feels a little tankier. For your amulet, you want crit multi, life, res, +1 skills. Anything else is extra. I got percent armor and percent fire damage. This is honestly probably my best in slot amulet for a long time. The value of another amulet better than this is just way too high for me to warrant investing it. This ring, you want buff effect fire damage and really good implicits if possible. I got percent armor and determination or effect and effective cold ailments. This is crazy. It scales my brittle, scales my determination up to crazy values, like really insane. So yeah, that is pretty much the build guide at level 91. My plans from now are to get Iron Will. This is like 5 or 6% DPS for 2 points. I'll spec out of Iron Will later once I get to 94, 95, do another cluster setup for more damage. And yeah, hopefully it goes well.